There we go, there we go. Bollocks. Oh well, never mind. Hello Crosswind, hello everyone else who's been sitting there in silence for the past 23 minutes. Okay, so back to this. So working with directional light. So for anyone who kind of hasn't seen what I've been doing, heard what I've been doing, obviously, I set up this so that I could do a pixel inspection and just get the color balance of this just right, which is 50% grey. That's what I needed. Anyway, hi Crosswind, thanks for letting me know that. It's been a while since I've actually used OBS because I've been teaching using Zoom. So the past 23 minutes has been completely quiet while I do this in the background, you know. Okay, you might find this useful actually, this light and stuff, so welcome aboard. Okay, so the light source angle in the light and light mask can be also used to soften the shadows with a directional light. So just to kind of show you, directional lights, main light, here we are, and I'm just going to grab in an object just quickly to bake. Now this kind of slows down what we're doing a lot, but it gives you a chance to kind of fuss around and have a bit of a play with it yourself. There we go. Crosswind, if you're not aware what this is about, this is advanced lighting and cinematic lighting in Unreal Engine 4. I'll be doing this for about another 20 minutes, just so I can do some tests, and then I'll be finishing writing up the second half of the lesson that I need to do. Anyway, you get the point. Doesn't take too long to build as long as we've got the light mass importance volume. Always remember that. Okay, so if I look at this now and just click play, our shadow should be pretty okay. We've got cinematics. Obviously you can see they're a little bit rough. So if I go into my main light here and I want to just go down to where it says light mass again, there we are, and I can change my source angle. So for example, maybe change that to 1.19 and a light mass source angle of, well, let me see, source angle 1.19, and source angle, actually I'll keep this at 1. I'll change the actual source angle itself to 1.19. And now if I do a quick build again, just to kind of show you the difference. Hopefully we'll see it kind of flick between the two instances as it does its build. I hope so anyway. Although I'll just quickly grab the snip tool just to be on the safe side. Shit, that didn't work. Oh yeah, it did. There we go. Right, so where's my snipping tool gone? There we go. So obviously we can see the kind of difference I'm getting here. Yes, Unreal supports ray tracing, and yes, I'll be getting a 3000 Series 2. So obviously that's the source angle changed to 1.19 with a light mass source angle of 1. And if I just now do a quick grab of that, I'll click play just so that we're seeing it in the play view. There we are. Okay, so pretty chunky by comparison. And if I go to my light mass importance volume, no, sorry, my main light, and I'm going to change my source angle now to 5. So it's got a split of 5 degrees as the source angle comes in off the light, and the light mass source angle I'll change to 2.95. There we go. And you can see straight away what a difference that makes. So, I mean, obviously I've got to rebuild my lighting, but straight away the preview on the shadow should give you a good idea. Click build. Okay, so we're really able to kind of obviously change up and change the quality on our lighting just by changing things like our source angle and stuff. If you need to know exactly what it's doing, I mean, obviously if we mouse over, it's basically subtended by light source in degrees. So the angular diameter. So the default is, like it says there, 0.53, which is the angle for our sun. But we can add pre-stretch to that, subtending to that. With the light mass source, obviously, if I just mouse over that so you can see, that's the angle that the directional light's emissive surface extends relative to a receiver. So again, some nice powerful stuff there going on. Okay, so with our builds done, and I just come in, and we can see we've got some nice, you know, pretty decent light coming in. Obviously it's a game engine, but nonetheless, even without using expensive additional plugins, we're getting some decent results here. So, I'm just going to close my snipping tool down. No, I don't want to save it. And environmental lighting. So I want to connect the directional light to the atmosphere, because when we're using our directional light, we always want to connect our light to atmosphere and fog and stuff like that. This is going to help the look of our global illumination bounce, and this is in the section of the light setting with the drop down, revealing the basically the advanced stuff. So if I go to my main light here and just clean my box, and under light shafts, so if I just screw all down, there we are, and just under bloom tint, under light shaft, override direction. So I just want to make sure I've got everything right. No, I think I've already got some atmospheric fog in this, so I'm just going to get rid of it. And I want to get rid of this as well. It's outside my build range. There we are. I'll probably make them delete that when I first build the scene, just to get them straight into it. I'm probably going to get the 3080, because the 3080 looks absolutely amazing. Okay, so blah 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 blah. Looking at my notes, when using your directional light, make sure you always connect your light to the environment blueprint. Atmosphere, fog, sunlight. Atmosphere. Atmospheric fog. Right, so I'll start with the atmospheric fog. I think that's a good place to go to. And under that, I want to go to light shafts. If there is any pre-compute default light color, up here. There we are. Main light. That's the one. Directional light. Okay, so under light shafts. There we are. I'm not going to use light occlusion. I've just opened the little box here that does light shaft override direction. Right, and I want atmosphere, fog, sunlight. So wrong one. Right, here we are, light. So atmosphere, fog, light. So that's under light. Intensity, shadow cascade. La, 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 la. Here we are, shadow cascade, light bias is 1. Cast modulated shadows is oof. Why is none of this allowing me to be changing its stuff? Very peculiar. There we go, that's better. So, indirect lighting intensity. Jeez, I have to do so much stuff. There we go. And what are you doing? Stop beeping at me. Okay, so indirect lighting intensity is 1. Volumetric is 1. Shadow cascade. Bias is 1. Cast modulated shadows is off. Atmosphere, fog, sunlight is on. Atmosphere, sun. Well, specular scale 1. Shadow resolution scale 1, 0.5, 0.5. So all these are defaulting. Let's have a look at this. So atmosphere, sunlight index, just leave that as that. Okay, so this all obviously helps with the visual look of our stuff. I'm just going down here to make sure I've got everything, and I have. I'm not doing any light shaft occlusion or light shaft bloom. Right, so next, sun calculator. And the sun calculator was created to have a more mathematically accurate representation of the sun. So we're going to turn that on through our plugins. Save. Shut up. Plugins, and if I go to built-in and just type in the word sun, there it is, sun position calculator. Enabled, restart. And we'll just wait for a moment for that to start up. Must be weird for people who aren't used to the fact that I've stopped doing robots and now do stuff that actually isn't robots a lot of the time. Anyway, it's restarted. So in my engine content, go away window, down here, I'm showing plugin content as well, so I'm just going to make sure that if I come down here, I'm showing my plugin content, and I need to go to the sun position folder, which I will find if I just keep scrolling down. There it is, sun position folder, and you can see BP sun position, and I'm just going to drag that into my scene, like so. Okay, and my sky will instantly change, connecting the sky blueprint to the sun calculator blueprint. Now for that I probably need the sky blueprint as well then. Engine sky, where's my sky blueprint? I'll drag that in as well, there we go. And then I'll drag in the sun. So there's my sky, hello. I'm going to link my directional light actor, so that's my main light. Then I'm going to go to my sun, which is here, and grab my sun position here. Okay, so now we start getting the sun. Now, let's do some calculating on this as well. So we're going to work with the directional light and sun calculator. So light map control. Hang on a second. So working with directional light and sun calculator, blah 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 blah. Latitude, longitude. Let's say Amsterdam. So if I wanted Amsterdam at the minute, it would be 52.36 and 4.9 longitude. If I set the time zone to +1, north offset, I'm not going to offset the north, it's 2020, 9th month and 14th day. Okay, the time at the minute is 13:12. So that gives us accurate lighting for right now. Okay, don't need to build because it's telling me I do not need to. So if I just check my main light again, all fine, groovy. Okay, so we've done an exercise of changing our lighting to be more accurate. So let's do some light map controls now. And the topics in this are, we're going to do light maps, volumetric light maps, and go underneath the front of the car and tweak some things. And we're going to do light baking settings for much higher quality. So, firstly, what are light maps? Well, light maps are used to create realism in a scene with objects by creating a self-shadowing visual. So it's mimicking contact shadows, overlapping dark areas. Basically, back in the old days when we used to use ambient occlusion shaders and think they were pretty neat back in like 2008. This does it kind of automatically, and it's just a basic function. So there's some things to keep in mind when we're doing this, and I'll just broadcast directly to Crosswind. So you want them to be, you want your UVs to be non-overlapping. Obviously, we've talked about this in the past. You want lots of padding now, not just a pixel. You want a bit of padding. You want to hide your seams So you don't want seams straight down the middle of things. You want your seams tucked away at the edges or behind something else. You can import them directly from your favourite DCC app, or you can automatically generate them through Unreal Engine. Okay, so Lightmass places lighting samples throughout the level and then computes indirect lighting for them during the lighting build. You'll know about this obviously if you've used V-Ray, Mental Ray or anything else that does this kind of thing. So when it comes to time to render a dynamic object, the volumetric light map is interpolated between all the pixels being shaded, providing a pre-computed indirect lighting. Eventually we'll be able to not do UVs anymore, but it's going to lead to massive project sizes, unfortunately, KW. I've had a few people ask me about that in the past few weeks. So, if no build lighting is available, meaning the object is new and always moved around, lighting's interpolated to each pixel from the volumetric light map for static objects until the lighting's rebuilt. So that's cool. So let's go over a little bit about light map control. So to see it, we can go to Show in our scene window. Okay, Show. Oh, that's much to see it. Show, yeah, of course. Show, visualize, volumetric. Hang on. That's not it. Oh, where the hell is it? Oh shit, I'm an idiot. Okay, show volumetric, blah, 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 blah. So that's going to be visualize volumetric. There we are. And we want to look at our volumetric light map. So here we go. So now we have measles. Okay, but this is our volumetrics. This is all our cool stuff. I can increase the detailed light map cell size for a much more accurate light map calculation, but obviously that's going to cost performance. So if I go to my main light here and under light mass, here we go. Let me see, I think also edit project settings, rendering. Oh, my nose. All settings. Okay. So I'm going to change this under my light mass here. I've got such an itchy nose. There we are, light mass. You see the prep I have to do. This is my day off as well. Just quickly check something. Right, here we go. Blah 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 blah. Right, God, I'm an idiot. So we need to go into the settings, world settings, and under here we're interested in light mass settings. I'll just open that up. There we go. And volumetric light map detail cell size. So halving it can increase memory by a factor of 8. So I've got to be very careful with how to use these. So I'm not really going to dick around with them. Okay, so obviously this is going to slow things down considerably, but if you've got something that's got a beast-sized computer with a lot of memory, then that's the one that we should be doing. So show, visualize, volumetric. We can also show our samples, which is kind of nice. Right. So let us continue on our merry way. So light map control. So for higher quality, here's some tips. Indirect lighting quality doesn't work on the preview quality preset. So level scale times quality equals 1. So if I go to, let me see, static lighting level scale here, which is set to 1. Number of indirect bounces is nice and high at the minute because we're using a high quality solution. And indirect lighting quality is at the minute, okay, just set to 1 for some reason. So 0.1 times 10 equals 1, or 0.5 times 2 equals 1, etc. We need to keep the scene consistent, so let me see, indirect lighting quality of 1 times a static level lighting scale of 1. So that seems to be working out okay. We could also change the static lighting level scale to like 0.5 and have our indirect lighting quality then set to 2 or whatever. Let me see, so if I change this perhaps, you know, I could just bring that down to 0.1 and then have my indirect lighting quality just set up to 10, and it's still going to be 1. Think about it like the old school way of doing like specular and glossiness, you know, you always want them to add to 1. Okay, so light map control, light baking settings for higher quality. So some ways to improve and optimize light baking, which is better for UV maps. So make better UV for your light maps, override your light map resolution by object, optimize your view modes, show your light components, compress your light maps, and force no computed in your lighting. Okay. Right, I am going to call it for the minute. I'll do some more notes later on, and I may or may not record them. So until then, love you all.